Good afternoon, everyone. We're kind of working with some lower light conditions, so bear with us. Today you've got Reed and
Lee.
And we're going to do a video on comms. Comms are a really important prep, and one I think everyone should have a part of. Because if you have to evacuate, not just for the end of the world, not just the zombie apocalypse, say you're evacuating from a fire. Imagine those cell phone towers are going to be overloaded, or some have already burned down and there's no service in your area. Being able to communicate with your friends, family, really important, especially if you're all trying to get together, organize a caravan rolling out, being able to, holler out on the communications, on the comms and saying, hey, I just had something fall off, need to stop. Whole, convoy can stop and get everything fixed out and protected and get going again. Communications, very important. I want to show you some easy communications to get you started with. Really nice ones. Now, Lee's got one in her hand here. It is a Cobra GMRS radio. We've used these in town. They work really well. In fact, we've gotten several miles out of them. Probably about 4 or 5 miles in range of them working in our cityscape with hills, houses, and stuff. Really impressive. Really helpful. Now, these little guys are super easy to use. Lee, why don't you explain it?
Well, first of all, on the back, they are operated by... Okay, so apparently I don't know how to take the back off. There we go. AA batteries, so that's fairly common and easy to use with.
How easy do you think it'd be to find a AA battery in an emergency?
Probably pretty easy because so many houses have them, or so many stores carry them.
What about a gas station? You think a gas station might have some?
Probably. You could probably find AA batteries at a gas station.
Yeah. AA's, really good power source because they're so common.
So these have limited number of buttons on them. First, you've got your volume button to increase or decrease the volume that you're hearing other people talking to you at. On the other side, you've got your channel selection button, and that's just an up-down button. On the bottom, you've got your power button, and then it powers it on and off, of course. Then you've got your lock button, which can lock so you can't change the channels. And I find that particularly useful because if you're carrying it or it's set somewhere, I will randomly hit the channel button and then change channels and not hear anything. So I usually lock it for myself. And then there's the call button to try to notify the other side of which something's going on. On your to side, the only buttons you have here are your push to talk. So push, talk, and then let go when you're done talking. And then it actually has a little light button to light up your screen so you can see a little bit, and then turn that off. To turn it on, you just push the power button and you'll hear a sound that it is turned on and the screen lights up and it shows you what channel you are on.
Okay, Lee. So we're going to turn on another one we've got, and we will demonstrate the call function. So if you press call, the other radio goes off saying, hey, wake up, pay attention, get to your radio, need you. Very helpful little button, very helpful little feature. Now, Lee, imagine you were just given this sort of radio and, it's kind of stressful, emergency things are going on, and they said, here's how you use it. Do you think you could understand how to use that one real quickly?
Yes, I think that's a very nice function of this radio. There's just an ease of use, and you don't have to think about it, really.
You think kids could be able to handle that pretty well?
Oh, definitely. They can operate a cell phone. They can operate a radio.
Older people?
Yeah, they could probably figure it out as well.
And stuff. Now, what's nice, though, about GMRS, FRS, is they're divided into several channels. So when you're planning things up with your friends and family and stuff like that, you can create a comms list and a comms book and have a manual that these could go in a box with everything to say, here's how it works. And you could say, like, channel 1, that's general talk between everyone. Channel 2, organized for the reads. Channel 3, organized for the Lees. emergency channel, so on and so forth. You can split it up pretty well. And then the other thing you can do is you can say, okay, if something's going weird and cell phones aren't working, get your radios out, turn them on at these times of the day to make certain you get an update of what's going on. And so you can set up a channel, for generalized announcements and news broadcasts. Of course, you're talking inter-group broadcasts and stuff like that, but still useful. So you can see if we had a major problem develop, or there was another one of those CenturyLink problems which takes out Verizon, and maybe we got something bigger and it takes out Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. We got all cell phones down. At least you got another way to trade communications. Big time help. Now let me show you another model we got. Now this one is another GMRS radio, but it also does AM, FM, and the weather band. Now this one does the weather band as well. You can turn that on to get NOAA alerts as well. And this one also has a crank. See? Crank it up. So you can power it by crank power. However, the battery options are AA. I'm using rechargeables. I like rechargeable AA's. Like I said, you can find them anywhere. Or alkalines. Doesn't matter. But it also has its own special type of battery pack for this specific model. That's a nickel metal hydride rechargeable. Now if you plug that in, set it to rechargeable type, the crank will actually recharge it. It will just take you forever, and you're going to get your cardio workout for the day. Let me tell you, it's going to be a long crank session. But if that's all you got, that's all you got, and it'll get you going. I would think it's a better option to get a solar recharger and get some AA batteries that you can put into it and charge them up that way. So you're not just sitting there cranking away. Better bang for the buck. But in an emergency, you could at least do it that way. It's also got a scan function, so it can look for active channels. And you can say monitor another channel. So this one, like if it hears something come on, say the emergency channel you defined as 19, it can alert and start saying, give you a flash of, hey, this emergency's going on, it's like that. And then oh, this is going on. Very helpful. I like the features of that. This one's bulkier and stuff. The Cobras, those ones are real lightweight handheld ones. But I think this is a good one you could put into a pack and stuff because it covers a lot of things and it's got an alternative power source. Good option there. And I like it well. Now both of these radios work on Vox, meaning you can start talking and they will pick it up and transmit. This one came with a little mic speaker thing. So you can sort of mount it up here kind of like a cop would. It's a really cheap one, like super cheap. So if you're going to use one, I would get an upgrade on that. But if you had to use it, you can use it.
And we have in the past used those on the road in order for communications. It makes it just a little bit easier than trying to grab the entire radio and dock into it.
Yeah, and like I said, Vox is very helpful and stuff. You just got to remember is you're going to have to set up with your group some communication parameters. How long should transmission be? Where you should put breaks? What are the beginning and ending markers of your transmission? Stuff like that. They're big helpful. So why organizing a set of common procedures and protocols is a good idea. I'm going to put together some of that and cover it on the channel later, especially as I do more ham stuff, because I'm getting my full ham license this year. Yeah, I'm finally getting around to it. Now, I did buy my GMRS license a while back. I just recently had to renew it. Just haven't had time to go through the full ham thing yet. But I do a lot of listening, so I get an idea of what's going on. But when I get to do all that, I'll cover it here and explain all of it to you guys. So more of you guys can go out and get your licenses and also be more connected.
One thing I noticed on that one is it also has a flashlight.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's not the most amazing flashlight, but it does work. So helpful there. Now, you've probably been saying, Reed, why GMRS? There's all these super amazing whiz-bang radios out there that can do everything. Don't you want to have your whole group use those? No. The reason for that is, as my poor lady here can explain, how easy it is to confuse when it can do everything.
Very easy. Very, information overload issues.
So would you rather, if things are getting ugly, just be handed a simple radio that has a couple channels that you use?
Yes, very much so. It makes it so much better.
That's one of the problems you run into. It may be great to have a radio that can do everything, but if you're overloading the user, especially if you only got 5 minutes to explain how to use it, may not be the best option. So instead, I like interoperability. Now this is a cheap Chinese radio. This radio can interoperate with a whole bunch of things, VHF and UHF. Now what's really nice about this is it can pick up, emergency, like the police, fire, sheriff's office, all that sort of stuff. Picks up the amateur radio bands just fine. And I can program into it the GMRS and FRS frequencies. And it works well. Press the call button, please. Comes through, and I can hear it. Now this radio's also got a nice feature, is it's got 2 channels. You can monitor and transmit on 2 at a time. Now I actually reprogrammed the button so you only transmit on the one you're selected on. Too easy to get crossed that way. So any button will transmit on the one selected. But it's nice, it's double monitor. And it really has a really decent programming ability. I use the software Chirp to do it. Now this thing can also interoperate with cross-frequency repeaters, which is great. We will show how those work later. Now the downside of this thing is it's complicated. Programming this thing by hand kind of really sucks. Don't like it that much. Now I've tested the range on this thing. I've gotten about 10 miles in town. It's really impressive. We've been very far reaches of town and through some pretty ugly terrain, and we can still talk to each other on these. It works. And like I said, I can interface with the little ones. Great thing. So you could have, set up an observation spot, and you have your information center, and they have radios like this that they hear. It's sort of a dispatch room. They get stuff coming in, and they dispatch things otherwise out. Be a great way to do it. Now, let me show you some other things about this radio, though. It uses a proprietary big lithium battery I bought as an aftermarket. Battery lasts a long time, does a good job. I appreciate that. Don't have to change the battery every day. But, you know what I think about lithium batteries? I'm cautious about them. But it had options. I like options. As an accessory, you could buy this. And what is this, you say? This is a pack, takes AAAs. I can power this radio with AAA batteries. Wow. Any supermarket, gas station, I can get power. So I bought several of these. Put in loop batteries in them. Paired with my solar charger, I'm good. Now they don't last as long as the big lithium. It's take about 3 packs for a day. But still, I got options. And I love options. Also have this option. Car adapter. Plug right into 12 volt. Another really good option. Now, in terms of build quality and sound quality, it's not the best. Its front end is a bit noisy, so you can get a lot more static than you want, but it does interoperate with a wide range, and I really appreciate that. So for that, I call it a win. Now later, I will go over some more expensive radios, some other options, and we'll go over, the whole ham process. And I hope everyone finds it interesting. You'll get to see more of Lee, and she can go, this is crazy as well.
Yeah, I think so.
But remember, comms, extremely important. Major important force multiplier so that you can get stuff done. Think about having to be able on patrol, spotting, looters way before they get, so you can marshal a neighborhood together to protect against looting. Something like that, really important. Or hearing something coming in from the hams that the direction you're traveling is going to be blocked 2 miles up ahead and the fire is coming right down that way. Yeah, turn the caravan around and bug out. Good thing to know. So if you don't have any comms, get some comms. And like I said, go buy the bubble pack GMRS radios at Walmart. They're actually a really good option. Just being able to communicate even a couple miles is a huge help, especially if all the cell phones are down. So take care, everyone. This is Reed.
And Lee.
Out for now.
Volume button, so to go up and down and to hear it.
We'll retake that.
So these have at that one more time.